на связи сегодня с нами Алексей Мельник, генеральный директор и основатель сервиса
Alexey Melnik,
Surda
the
Online.
founder
Кстати,
of
именно этот
Surda
проект вошел в
Online.
число победителей
The
международной
project
программы «Глобальный вызов»
became one of the
современной идеи
winners
для
of the
целей
Global
устойчивого
Challenge
развития от
contest
фонда Сколково.
by
Мы упоминали
Skolkovo
надежные сердце
Foundation
вашей
that we
программы. Команда
mentioned in
Surda
the
Online
previous
разработала
section.
приложение для
The
дистанционного
team
сурдоперевода,
developed
которое позволяет
a
слабослышащим
distance
людям получать
sign
без
language
места работы
translation
предоставляемых на
application.
сегодняшний день. Алексей, добрый день. Расскажите, пожалуйста, как родилась идея,
Alexey, hello. Please tell us about the idea. How did you come up with this idea? How to help deaf people and people with hearing impairments? And what did you give to business? Hello, everyone. Yes, the idea was born from the internal search to make a project at the juxtaposition, at the intersection of IT and medicine and psychology. So we wanted to have this kind of combination. But we did not have really any social input. There was no internal drive. As a result, I represent a specific project, but I would like to use my project as an example and show how to approach social sphere when we speak about digitalization, IT, and different DeFi technologies. I work with Russian and international markets, both Europe and Asian. This project has been on for quite a while. It does not focus only on this narrow group, which we call the deaf. Why does it happen? Well, because for this kind of projects, there are few transactions, there's not enough audience, so that we could use this for our KPI and for them to use this kind of services and to make them even more accessible. In Russia, there are about 300,000 deaf people, and the share is more or less retains globally. But there is not a single universal approach there. There's not silver bullets to solve all the problems. We consider different clusters. And we always lack some geographical locations, language locations, language combinations to get enough audience so that we'd have enough transactions. And this applies to the work of different TAs like deaf people, age people, people with increased needs, but not decreased capabilities. This graph shows that the number of this kind of people increases. People are getting older, our target audience also gets older, but it's not enough for this to be a full-fledged business. It is at the intersection of business and social activity. So what do we do? How does it work? First, we started to work with remote sign language interpretation. We have Skype, we have remote clients, but once you have, suppose you have more than one client or more than one sign language interpreter, then it's absolutely impossible to scale, and you have to use a platform. As of now, we have more than 1,500 end users. These are organizations which provide services to their clients, which is 5 to 8 times more compared to real-time sign language interpreters. We work anywhere where our clients might go to these stores, markets, hospitals, drugstores. They go there, but they need to get information, and they have to get this information in their own language. This makes it possible to have the standards of service in our governmental offices, both in time and in quality. On the right, you can see our clients. As I said, more than 1,500. We have presence in 5 countries. We continue to expand our geography. So why do we need this? Well, I will repeat, so that we will have more transactions. We cannot stay in a single position. It's not our desire, it's the desire of the system which we want to promote. We have different events where our sign language interpreters work remotely, and we also have different kind of interpretation for the audience of the blind people, and they sometimes cannot work together. And as I see what happens on the market, for IT projects, it's really hard to strike a balance and then maintain this balance between just getting a grant or being a pure business. As of now, we are a little bit skewed towards business, but we also try to listen to the other side, meaning the social workers. Here you can see the map of our sign language interpreters. These are solutions for emergency calls. During the COVID time, we provided for one of the Russian regions special call center support. We work with our target audience. We have a unique case. Each Friday, we have 20 mosques with sign language interpretation in Uzbekistan, and tens of, even hundreds of people come to listen to what Mullah is speaking about. This kind of approach, I think, is successful for social IT projects, or projects which are important for this kind of social approach. And they use innovative approaches, which makes it possible to improve the parameters and metrics. 20 transactions are quite a lot, and we also want to improve it. Since the last year, we've been providing services and support for NGOs. For example, for Mer Kozda in Uzbekistan, we have a mobile application to provide assistance for the deaf countrywide. This fits the investment model, which makes it possible to increase the number of transactions. So why do we need this? We build a system where real life interpreters, sign language interpreters, provide assistance. We cannot expect to fully replace human interpreters, even in the future, but we still want to improve our neural network, our neural model, and they now work with sign recognition, they work with sign to text and human usage with up to 80% accuracy. And we believe that at some point, when it's not life or matter situation, it's not about big sum of money, then we might give them the opportunity to use AI and significantly decrease the costs and expand our coverage. But we're not sure when this singularity point would happen. We work and we analyze all our competitors, both in Russia and in other countries, but still we do not have an industrial, so to say, system which would provide this kind of solution. That is why we still need real-life sign language interpreters. And that is why we are in the process of this transformation from an analogous approach to digital approach. And the next step is fully automated sign language interpretation. And I would like to go back to money issues, which is very interesting for any business which works with NGOs. It's very important to understand when you launch this kind of project that the main clients, the people who pay, will be the government and big corporations which are involved in ESG agenda, which have KPI for sustainable development. We have about 100,000 offices in CIS countries, which is quite a small market. It's not a venture story, it's just a story of a small niche market, which should be closed in about 3 to 4 years, completely changed from analogous approach to digital approach, where sign language interpreters would be working remotely. And it's really easy to lose oneself right here, right now, and become a beggar project. A project which just wants to get a fund, just wants to attract money, and they don't really want to solve the problem. There's nothing wrong about that in general, but this does not give any scale. We want to work with our partners, for example, in Uzbekistan, to provide additional services, legal advice for the deaf. And to sum it up, it is truly an international project, and only international approach can give an impetus to a socially based AI project. Only this kind of international coverage can provide a lot of transactions. We do believe that due to partnership networks, we can cover the whole world, and this impact will not cost a lot for any major organization around the world. But still, we do understand that for each specific organization, our service doesn't really bring any value. It brings value only in big scale, when we look at the greater picture, but not when we look at the details. And here I would like to finish up my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Алексей, спасибо вам большое.
Alexey, thank you very much. What would you dream as a person who has created this kind of service? What is your dream? You know, my dream is that as many people, entrepreneurs, would involve themselves, would engage, not only for the reasons of profit, but also to create high social importance project. The world is becoming more and more futuristic. Companies which care only about profits are decreasing in numbers. But there is a very important point here not to miss, specifically for the adult population. For example, my case, why did I want to do this kind of project? I worked with some serious information systems, with banking services, with oil companies, and my clients, about 6 years ago, had an organization in the center of Moscow, and they had a call center, about 200 people there, like in the very center of Moscow. And these people were selling basically grass as drugs. This is a very successful business, but this kind of business you don't really want to get involved with. At least for me as an IT entrepreneur. And I would like to use the opportunities, for example, as was proposed by Microsoft, by their partnership program, as was said by Mark Crozy. We would like to use these kind of approaches and not just project solutions which have a beginning and an end. Thank you very much. I think it was a very showing example. My next question, what are the next challenges, maybe within your topic, or maybe to solve other SDGs as specified by UN? Well, actually, I tried to speak about this increased coverage of the audience. So these kind of projects work on a narrow group, but we need to scale. That is why we create a platform where we bring together all these needs of people who have impaired vision, who have impaired hearing, who have problems with mobility, and in order to provide services for these people. So we want to bring those people together on the platform, and by doing so, we will be able to increase the number of transactions, to increase the sustainability of the platform itself. But these kind of projects, the most important point here is not the technical solution per se, the one we apply. Every year I witness about 10 projects which launch some kind of projects for the deaf people to communicate. And the designers are so enthusiastic for about 2 months, but then they go and reach out and talk, communicate with the real deaf people, and they feel depressed, they cannot solve this problem. For a project to start and keep going, you have to invest in this business model. Obviously, you can ask the government for the fund. These kind of projects also work, but now the question is, who do I basically work for the government or for some kind of fund? A really good classical application provides value to the target audience. This is basically impossible in our market, because in the reality, CIS countries, Central Asia, these kind of people, unfortunately, they cannot pay for these kind of services. So we cannot make this an affordable business. That's why we have to invent some sophisticated schemes to launch this kind of projects. And we stay within this constant search of a business model. Alexey, thank you very much for participation. Thank you for what you do. This is truly a very good-natured project, and we wish you all the best. Thank you.